redstone acts like electricity. It uses inputs and outputs to create everything from simple doors to complex contraptions. Now for the younger players, understanding what everything is can be quite complicated, so I'll just simplify it for you. This is a singular piece of redstone dust, and this is a line of 2 redstone dust. Think of these like wire to connect to whatever you want to power. Something you might want to power is that lamp or that piston, but you may notice there's nothing on the other side powering these up. That's where the lever and the stone buttons come in. With a button, it goes on and then it turns off momentarily. However, with a lever, it's on and it stays on. Now there are wood buttons and there are also stone buttons. And the main difference is wooden buttons you can shoot, and as long as that arrow is there, that will be powered. However, with a stone button, nothing. The same is also true for the wood and stone pressure plates. You may have noticed I had 2 different pistons in my hotbar, one of which is a normal piston and the other is a sticky piston. This is the normal piston, and this is the sticky piston. Notice how with a normal piston the block stays in the air, however with a sticky piston it comes right back down. Pistons can only push blocks, however sticky pistons can push and pull blocks directly in front of them. The one similarity they both share is that they can both move up to 12 blocks. Neither of the pistons can move bedrock, obsidian, monster spawners, and portal frames, chests, furnaces, or beacons, among other things. Coming back to lamps for a second, redstone lamps are conductive blocks, which means they can power the things around them. However, you may notice they cannot power the thing diagonal to them. Next up are redstone torches and blocks of redstone. While they seem like they both do the same thing, redstone torches are quite unique in the way that they can be turned off and back on again. However, redstone blocks are a constant on. You may notice that this line of redstone gets less and less glowy as it goes on. That's because this redstone line has lost all power once it gets up to here and won't actually activate anything. Nothing. However, if you replace this with a repeater, like that, you'll see that it lights up and can carry on the redstone line with the same strength as over here. A repeater will accept the signal from the back and then push it out of the front with the maximum signal strength, and the back of the repeater is whatever's closest to you when you place it. This second torch right here is already in a 1 tick position. That is the default, but you can change it to 2, 3, or even 4. The larger the number, the longer it takes the signal to reach the destination. And you can stack these up as much as you like, so that's 4, 8, 12. So that will take 12 ticks get to here and power this. Next up are observers. So this little face here will detect when something on this block happens, and then this little redstone line will activate. So watch this flash. It detects the changes of this block right here, well rather this airspace. So as you can see, if I break this block, nothing changes, but I place it here, and it lights up. However, it does not work if I'm just walking in front of it. Now, if you have a redstone line going up like this, you may think to do that. However, you'll notice right here is connected, but right here is not, which means no signal will get through to here. However, glass is one of the few blocks that will still let a redstone signal travel through. So if you need to build something right here and build something on top, try to use glass. Now, if you want to make a trap or something, tripwires are definitely one of the ways to go. You just use string to connect up the tripwires. Now, when I step on this here, you'll notice this is all lit and it travels to what you want it to activate. Now, that can be dispensers with arrows, TNT, whatever you like. Just use this carefully. Now, our last component is the daylight detector. When you place it on, say, a redstone lamp for light, it will automatically be in the daylight default, which means the sun is out, so the light's on. However, if you just press your use button, it will switch to night, and because it's not night, the light isn't activated. However, when the moon comes up, the light's on. First off, pick a place for your lever, because that is one of the most important decisions you can make at the moment. Next, you're going to grab a redstone torch. I just do it to save space, but really, you could just place a block and a piece of dust there. And then, you're going to just place the line all the way up here, bring it to your lights, flip the lever, and boom. When you walk into your doorway, I'm gonna look to my left, but I suppose you can look to your right. And I'm gonna pick these 2 blocks to have my door. And then next to them are gonna be sticky pistons facing towards the blocks of your choosing. Dig 2 blocks down right behind your pistons and then place a block in here like so. I'm gonna use blue wool for this demonstration. Next, place a redstone torch and then another piece of blue wool on top with a redstone on top of it. Next, you're gonna wanna make a redstone line connecting all the way to the block in front of the door. And then cover up what you just made. And you'll see here, this is it closed and this is open. While this is not stealthy, it is a good way to just get a door in place so that you're safe from the mobs at night. While I did just rattle off a bunch of information for you to use, it's important to know that working with redstone can be very frustrating, but stick with it. It's okay to need to watch tutorials or maybe even just this video that explains the components if you just get stuck on one thing. Once you figure out that thing that has you banging your head against the wall, it will be so worth it. Although this is for the younger audience who is very base knowledge of redstone, I hope at least one of you was able to take away something from this video that will help you in the future. And I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye!